In this episode of the Expat Animator, I'm going to talk about the history of my animated short film, TREP. I'll also talk about why I made TREP, the making of TREP, TREP's previous life online with Google Video, TREP the graphic novel, and why I am uploading it in its entirety to my YouTube channel next week. I created the character TREP in the year 2000 while traveling in Costa Rica right after I graduated college. In the middle of the 4 months I was there, I ended up sick in bed for a week with what was probably dengue. So I tried drawing to get my mind off my misery. That is when I first created the character TREP. It would be 2 years later before I started work on TREP the animation. I knew I needed a lot of time to do that. That's why I decided on returning to Costa Rica, because I knew I could live cheaply while I worked on my short film. Then I talked 2 of my college friends into joining me. The idea was we would also film the year-long trip and make a documentary out of it. So I returned to Costa Rica with my 2 friends from college in early 2002. Scott Cederholm to film the documentary and edit the animation, and Justin Agresti to help me with audio, sound effects, and music. One side note about this trip, we initially stayed with my friend Eric, who had recently moved to Costa Rica from the Virgin Islands, and later on would become the co-creator of my animated series, Traveling Gringos. Around this time, there was a full-page ad on the back of an issue of Animation magazine for an animated DVD for sale. This DVD was an independent short film called Understanding Chaos, and it was created by one person, Terrence Walker. If you've never heard of him, you should track him down online and watch that film. His website's still up at studioartfx.com. I bought the DVD and I loved it. This is what inspired me to make TREP the animated short. I even named TREP's alter ego Terrence after him. I couldn't believe that one person animated the whole thing. Now, Understanding Chaos was created in 3D and rendered to look like 2D animation. I wanted to try to do the same thing, only using 2D animation. The making of TREP took me 9 months of working on it full time, then another 2 years of part-time work before it was finally finished. I had quit my first real job at an ad agency as a graphic designer to take 9 months off with the specific goal of working on TREP. Why Costa Rica? The cost of living there was still relatively cheap in 2002. My goal was to take a year off, but my money only lasted 9 months. Maybe if I had squeezed out a whole year, I would have finished TREP in 12 months instead of the 3 years it took me. Regardless, I did eventually get it done. To this day, it is still one of my projects I'm most proud of, even though the animation is pretty bad by today's standards. Remember, I animated this in 2002 with pencils, paper, a homemade light box, and a portable scanner. Not exactly the tools I would choose to use today if I were to make a sequel. When TREP was finally finished, I wasn't sure what to do with it. I mean, it was 22 minutes long. Probably too long for an animation festival, and probably too short to sell as a standalone DVD. I didn't know what to do. Internet video was just becoming a thing. YouTube didn't exist yet. This was the end of 2004. Then Google Video launched in January of 2005. I can't remember the exact date, but I decided to upload it to Google Video pretty early on. My idea was to get some eyeballs on it. I think I had it up for about 6 months before it got 50 views. I was pretty bummed out, so I decided to take it offline. Then I decided to try the indie DVD sales route, and did eventually find a distributor with Jonathan Morkin's Apprehensive Films. But I had mentally moved on to other projects by then, including animating Traveling Gringos. I have since gone back to the TREP character, but this time around, I wanted to create a graphic novel. So I reworked the story a bit and expanded on it into a full-color, 80-page graphic novel. I posted that online for free with Webtoons in 2015. That may be why you even know of TREP. Well, it actually started out as an animation. I've recently decided to post that original animation online once again, for the first time since it was on Google Video way back in 2005. This time on my YouTube channel, and I will be posting it next week in 2020. For everyone who purchased a DVD of TREP in the past, or paid for a digital download, I want to say thank you for supporting independent animation. So why have I decided to post TREP for free now? I recently posted a video called 3 Reasons Why You Should Show Your Animations for Free. It was while I was making that video, I knew it was time to put TREP back out there, even if the quality is only 480p. I'm going to take my own advice, so keep an eye out as it is ready to launch and will be coming out next week. Thanks for listening. This has been Patrick Davidson, the Expat Animator. See you next time.